Hello folks, this is Izzy Zaidman talking to you. I'm a guitar player of some limited repute, I suppose, and a songwriter and a band leader and a performer. And I've been playing guitar most of my life and have semi-recently taken up the function of guitar designer. I don't really build all these things from scratch, but I assemble them from the pieces of my mind, and I think I do a fine job of it. This is my most recent, and this is a real beauty. Have a look. And I am putting it up for sale so that I can make some more of these, and I think this is going to be a great thing. I'm going to jump into starting to describe what you've got here. This will serve as a video documentary of what it is that we've done here, and it'll also serve as sort of a certification papers. Should you buy this thing, you'll always have a record of exactly what it is and its authenticity. So, the first thing that you'll notice about this beautiful guitar is that it's got true temperament frets. These frets have been designed by a Swedish mathematician who has figured out how to keep your guitar perfectly in tune by having these crazy frets. Now, you might be thinking that they would take some getting used to as far as playing them, and they do not. They are very, very easy to play. Just feels just like a regular guitar for the most part. It might take you a minute or two to get into it. Steve Vai plays these frets, and a lot of other people do too, and it's gaining in popularity, and there's plenty on the web about true temperament frets if you'd like to know more. But basically, yeah, it'll help you keep everything that you play very, very much more in tune than you would get it on just about any other guitar, especially these kind of things, bar chords and so on, high up the neck. They're not hard to bend on. Totally comfortable to play, and yes, they'll keep you a lot more in tune, especially hear things like that that are much harder to keep in tune the higher you go up the neck, as well as some of these open chords that ring much nicer and clearer and more consistently in tune than other guitars that you'll play. So that's the first thing going on there. The rest of the neck was ordered by Warmouth, custom by me. It's got the binding on both sides, as you'll see. The fretboard is ebony, which gives it a nice kind of a snap if you're into tapping, which I don't know if you are, but if you were, it works well for that, having the ebony fretboard. So that's got a nice sound to it. The inlay is really a fantastic job, in my opinion. It was done by a company called Precision Pearl out of Austin, Texas. And I'll pull it up close so you can get a good look at it. What it's got is these mother of pearl rings filled by cream, and that was done to give it a unique look, to straighten out the look versus the wiggly frets, and to match some of the rest of the stuff on the guitar, like the pickup and the binding here, etc. So I think they did an absolutely fantastic job. It's really, really intricate and cool design. This guitar has a classic Telly style headstock. This neck would normally come with Warmouth's Warhead style headstock, but I had them custom trim it to look like a regular Telly. It's got the butterbean tuners. These are Gotos. It's got my logo emblazoned up there. The neck is a Gibson scale length, so it's a 24.75, a little bit shorter than a regular Telecaster, not so that you'd really notice, but it does make it a little bit more comfortable for certain kinds of stretching and things like that. The fretboard has a compound radius, so it goes 10 to 16. It gets a little bit flatter as it goes up, and it makes it really pretty comfortable to play. As you get further up the neck, which I really like. And I think everybody would really like that if they gave it a shot. I never wanted to give it a shot before, but once I got into it, there's kind of no turning back. So, I have the rest of this stuff written down here. we have a zero glide nut up here. This is one of those things that I never really, once I find something like that, I can't understand why not every guitar has that. It basically has a little zero fret sort of jammed in and wedged up against the normal graphite, which takes the pressure off the graphite. It prevents breaking, and it makes it is really awesome. It makes it so that your open chords sound the same as your fretted chords. Normally your strings would be ringing against the graphite or the bone, whatever you have in there, and so that will have a different sound, usually a little duller than what the sound of a fretted note would be. But on this, you have it's actually contacting metal, just like the frets are, so it sounds the same. Those open chords aren't different the way that they might normally be. So that's a great little device. It also allows you to keep the action a lot more normalized than it could possibly be. A lot of guitars, they will typically get a little bit higher up here in the action, and sometimes they'll be a little high in the action here and then get a little bit lower as it goes this way. Part of that is because the nuts will be at a different height. Well, this fret wire is at the same height as the rest of the fret, so it makes it really smooth to go up and down. So you can raise or lower the action if you like, but it'll always be more consistent with one of those zero frets in there. It also makes it so that you don't need to string trees over here, and I really like not having string trees, so I can do this behind the nut bending and stuff like that. Which you can do a lot easier when there's no string trees. You don't have to worry about losing the string there, so that's pretty cool. The neck also has metal inserts in the neck where the bolts go. I'll put up a picture of that later so you can see what that looks like. But basically what this means is you put the bolts in just like any other normal guitar, and it's the same size bolt, but they go into these threaded inserts inside the neck. Again, as an idea where I don't understand why everybody doesn't do that. You really should, but it's a great idea, and it means that you can put the screws in and out nearly an infinite amount of times without stripping it, and it means you can tighten down the bolts a little bit more so you get a better tone transfer from the neck to the body, and those are installed right in there. You can also take the neck off, fly with it, you know, take it apart, ship it if you want to, or if somebody needs to work on it. You don't ever have to worry about stripping the screws, and it provides a much more solid contact as well. So that's really cool. And I think that's just about it with the neck. Okay, so let's get on to the body. The body is a Warmoth body, custom ordered by me, of course. Very particular. It's a 7/8 style Telecaster body. So it's just a little bit smaller than a regular Telecaster. Not so that you even really notice. I think it kind of looks just a little deceptive to the eye, and it's a little cooler and different, but not really so you'd ever notice. It takes a little bit of the weight out of the body, which is, I think, great, because sometimes Teles can run a bit on the heavy side. This one is a mahogany body with a laminate quilt maple top, and that combination gives it a little bit of a Les Paulness and a little bit more of a jazziness than you might normally expect. From a normal style Tele, especially when you get into the neck position, so I really like that. The body's also chambered. So that means that there's these little chunks of wood that have been strategically taken out of the outside of the body here in order to give a little bit more resonance as well as lighten it up. So it's a nice light guitar, and it sounds great for that reason. It's got binding all the way around. It's a beautiful job there. There's no belly cuts or any other kind of cuts out of it. There's a lot of the bulk's already been taken out by the chambering, so you don't really need that. This is a custom cut pick guard for this guitar. Another thing I should mention is that because this is a conversion neck, I had to have this body done after. It got routed afterwards by Avi Shabbat of Shabbat Guitars, who also put most of the rest of this together for me. He was voted one of the top 3 luthiers in the country at NAMM. It was either this year or the past year, I can't remember. Yeah, so he he had to do it this way in order to make enough room for these 3 pickups to fit nicely, which they do. So, and as a result, the custom pickguard had to go on there as well, and he did an awesome job of that. And so that's what's going on with the body. Let's talk about the electronics. First of all, let's start with this pickup. Wow, man, this pickup is great. This is a Seymour Duncan Zephyr. If you haven't heard about the Zephyrs, they're incredible. Apparently Seymour Duncan told his staff, go ahead and design me a pickup that's the best sounding thing you can possibly get regardless of cost. So it's a very expensive pickup, and I had it custom ordered in cream. They normally only come in black, but I got it ordered in cream so it would match the rest of the guitar in a way that I thought was cool. And it's apparently made with silver wire that has been cryogenically frozen in order to make the electrons transfer sound as clear and as fine as they possibly can through the pickup in order to get the best sound. Wow. Great sounding pickup, man. Really just couldn't be more worth the money. That's a standard wire for their Zephyr line in that position. In the middle, we have a Lawler Charlie Christian. But it's a Charlie Christian that was originally designed to go in the bridge of a guitar. I had it put in the middle because I didn't want to have to use their neck pickup and put one of those in the middle. They're a little big, so this one fits in a smaller slot, which is great. And just a fantastic sound also. I primarily wanted it there because I love what I call the surf sound. I just love that kind of a tone, and I kind of can't play a guitar that doesn't have something like that in there. I think all electric guitars ought to have a little hint of surf somewhere in them, and this one really came out great. So I wanted to get the sound to blend the clarity of this Zephyr pickup with what the Charlie Christian has, which is this amazingly rich, hollow, fat sound. So I wanted to have like a Surf 2.0 kind of a sound, and this really kind of gets that in a great way, and so I'm really happy about that second position sound. If you go to the middle on its own, you get the Charlie Christian by itself, which I think it has a really great sort of a mimicking of an acoustic sound. Yeah, so I think it's great for that, as well as getting this sort of, official jazzy Charlie Christian sort of a thing. So the great sound there. It's of course got the middle between these, the bridge and the neck. It's got a little bit of that twangy surfiness in it. It's kind of jazzy. And then of course the neck position, which I'm really happy with this one. This is a Lawler Tron. And it's got the vintage wiring as opposed to the modern wiring, because I guess I'm a vintagey kind of guy. And that really, between that and having the laminate top and the mahogany, brings this really great, gretchy, country gentleman sort of a sound out of it. yeah, anyway, so that's a great sound there. I think it's great to have a little Chet Atkins in your guitar, so that's what that'll bring out for you. And then moving right along, we have the control plate here. Now what's going on here, not all that fancy, but it's a little something that I think is very necessary, at least for the way I like to play the guitar. The control plate is flipped around. The switch is back here, tone knob is here, and the volume knob is here. I've also had to move the tone knob up a little bit because you can't get in there and manipulate this knob if the switch is in this position and the knob is here. There's no room. So I've had it moved up, and I have the volume here in order to be able to get at both of them. Right, so that's the tone knob, and of course you can get to the volume knob easy as well. Which I think is a great effect, and you can do that a lot easier with this kind of a knob when it's underneath your finger rather than pushed back where it might normally be. So that's what's going on there. You can also put this in the back position, get your telly twang. So you don't sacrifice any of the telliness with this, having the jazzy bits in there, but also it's got a push-pull knob that'll put this on. So here you got telly twang. Pull that on, and you got the classic neck and bridge together with the telly sort of a sound. Good for jangling. Got that sound, so you're not sacrificing anything there. It's awesome. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have the volume kill and the tone kill, these little buttons here. There's not that much to them. They don't do much more than what these two knobs do. They just go from 0 to 10 all at the same time. That kills the volume. That kills the tone. Tone all the way down, tone all the way up. Gives you a little bit of a wah-wah effect, which I'll demonstrate later, so that's pretty cool. And let's get into the bridge. The bridge is a Goto 3-barrel style, just classic Telecaster style, but it obviously has this really cool rolling bender on it, and I'm always going to use these things. I think they're just awesome. It's a very, very simple little mechanism. It's very easy to change the string. You just kind of slide the string in there and slap the bender in place, and it's good to go. And that'll bend up your B string by a whole step, which is really, really cool. I mean, what a cool sound, you know, and it's the simplest little thing in the whole world. It doesn't mess with your tone at all. It's a brass saddle, just like the other saddles on the bridge. And it matches visually, of course. It's got a great look to it. Had them match the look of the brass here with the color of the pick guard. Thanks again, Avi. So that is a wonderful thing there. Really solid bridge in good shape. What else happened? Oh, and it's a top loader. You should know that. I've experimented with these things a bunch, and I've seen some YouTube clips of people doing experiments. I don't believe anymore in doing strings through body. I don't think there's anything to be gained in it. It doesn't make the tone any better. I actually think the tone, personally, I think sounds a little better coming up here. So any myths that through the body improves your tone, I really don't think that it does. It makes it very easy to change the strings because they all load in right through there, as does the bender. So boom, this thing strings up very easily as well. So that's great. Okay, what else we got? Well, I played this guitar in a video that my band Izzy and the Catastrophics made in Switzerland over the summer. So you'll have that music video out, and you'll have one that's got some a guitar with limited amount of repute, I suppose, and it's fantastic looking thing. We'll get in a little bit more sound samples so you can hear what's going on, and that's about that. So, like I said, we have the telly. Right, that's a good old-fashioned telly twang. We have the surf in that second position, sort of stratty second position thing. Right? Great sound. We got the Charlie Christian. We have that third position. Think what to make that sound like. And then we have this sort of country gentleman Lollertron thing. What are we going to do for that? Yeah, cool. So now I'm sure that some of you guys will want to hear what this thing sounds like with a little gain on it. So I'm going to put some gain on it. I won't go through all the pickups again, but I'll go through at least this back one. You should know that this guitar really can rock if it needs to. Just through a little Fender Frontman 25 reverb. So. Yeah, killing, right? And here, even on the dirty channel, those true temperament frets help the open chords really just ring out. There's your volume kill, and here's your tone. Yeah, that's what's going on there. So anyway, I've been Izzy Zaidman. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is your documentation. This is a beautiful guitar, and you're a lucky person whoever gets it. And hit me up with any comments or questions if you have them. And that's about that. Thank you.